A list in Dart is an ordered collection that allows duplicate value. It can store multiple items in a single variable, and it comes into type. The first one is the fixed length list, and the second one is the growable list. Let's create a growable list, and for the name of our list, we're going to give it growable list. And then to create a list, we make use of the square bracket. So we had the items we want to have in our list inside the square bracket. For this example, we're creating a list of numbers. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this being a growable list, we can increase the values which we have inside our list. And to do so, we can simply come here and say growable list dot add. And this gives us ability to increase the value which we have in our list. So let me add 6 to this. And let's print the first list we have. This growable list. And let's go down and print the new growable list. And let's run this. And as you can see on my debug console, I have 1 to 5 for my first growable list. But for the second growable list, I have 1 to 6, meaning that I have increased the values I have in my list. Now let's have a quick recap of what we've done. We declare a variable growable list using var, which looks at the value which we have assigned to it, and then it infers that growable list is of type list integer because it contains list of items which are integer. So but if you come here now, so if I hover on this now, you can see growable list is of list of integer. But if I come here now and I say I want to add orange here, and then if I come back here now, you can see it's list of objects, meaning that we don't just have integer in our list, we have list of objects. And this is possible because we are making use of var. But if I come here now and I say I don't want to do this, and I say I just want integer to be in my list, so if I add orange to this now, it won't be possible. So I need to remove this, and that's to avoid errors. Inferring data type on list can be done by adding list with the data type it takes like this, or we can come here and then we can come before our list, can add int like this. So either we had the data type like this, or we come here and we had it like this, and then we can remove this. Both will work fine for our list. And lastly, before we move to the second type of list, we can also remove from a growable list. So by coming here, we can say dot remove, and then we can add whatever value we want to remove from our growable list. So if I just come here and I say 3, and let's print the new growable list. You can see the first one is 1, 2, 3 to 5, and then after adding 6 to it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then after removing 3, we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Now let's talk about fixed length list. Now let's talk about the second type of list that we have, the fixed length list. Let's create a fixed length list. We have var fixed list, and then we can have list dot fill. Now list dot fill takes the length that we want our list to be. So we're just going to, let's use 3, and then whatsoever item you want to fill your list with. For a start, I'm just going to fill this with 3 also, and then let's print this out. Fixed, right? And let's run this. You can see we have list of 3. Let me change this from an integer. I can also make use of the string, and let's run this. You can see we have list of oranges, and here let's come here and let's declare a normal list. Say my fruit can have, and we can have orange, mango, and banana. And if we come here, we can change this from just a string to also a list. So if you run this now, so now you can see that we have list of my fruit, and that's how the fixed length list works. The first thing is that you provide the number of items you want to have on your list and whatsoever item you want to have on the list. So this fixed length list, you cannot modify it like we can do for the growable list by adding or removing. So if I come here now and say fixed length dot add, and I try to add, let's say 3, and I can see I'm getting an error, because if you over on this now, let's over on this, you can see that grow label is false by default. So that means you cannot grow this list by adding new values to it. And the same way we can explicitly infer type on the growable list, we can do the same for this also. So I can come here and say list, and then I can say this must be just list of. So if you want this is a list of this. So I'm not going to do that. So I can just say let me add int. Then let's change this from my banana to 3. And yeah, let's remove this and let's run this. So you can see we have, so if I come here now and I change this from 3 to orange, I'm going to get error. Now let's talk about how we can access item in our list. So we have this grow label list and we have this fixed list. In order to access items in our list, the first thing we need to understand is what we call index. Index are the position of an item in a list. So the normal way it is in mathematics is that this is the first position, this is the second position, this is third, fourth, and fifth. But when it comes to index, we don't start with 1, we start with 0. So this one is going to be 0, and then this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me have it written down here. So 1 is at index 0, while 2 is at index 1, 3 is at index 2, 4 is at index 3, and 5 is at index 4. So if I want to access the item on the list, I make use of this index. So let's just look at a simple example. Say we have print, and then we want to print out this, and then have access to this. Then we want to have access to 4. To have access to 4, we simply make use of a square bracket, and then we can put the index here. The index is 3, so we're just going to put 3 here. And then let's add our semicolon, and let's run this. And here you can see I have 4 printed out. If I want to access 1, I'm simply going to make use of 0. So I can come here and say, let's run this. And now you can see that I have 1. Also for my grow label list, we know that we're going to have, if we print our grow label list out, let's print this out. We know that we're going to have a list of 5, and the length is going to be 3. So in order to access the last or the second 5, which is going to be at index 1, we can simply come here and then we can add our square bracket and we can say 1. So like this, we're going to have access to the 5 in the middle. So let's run this. And you can see we have access to the 5 in the middle. There's some other things that we can do with this. We can say dot length. So this gives us the length of our list. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are 5 items on the list. So the length is going to be 5. Please take note that length is different from index. Index starts from 0. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. While length simply means the number of items that we have on our list. So like this, if we print this out, we're going to have 5 for the length of the grow label list. And also we can access the dot first. So this gives us access to the first item on our list. And when we run this, we have 1. And also we can access the last item on our list. So we have 5. And another important thing that you need to understand about list is that list allows us to have duplicate values. So I can come here and I can say, I can still add 3, I can add 5, I can add 7, I can add 8, unlike set, which we're going to be looking at in another tutorial. So I can come here and I can add 8 again, I can add 1. So if I run this now, let's remove dot last and let's run this. You can see I have my list of numbers, And if I want to access the last, I can just say dot last. And let's run this. And we have 2 to be the last value. So in a situation whereby you have a very long list and you want to access either maybe the second to the last or maybe the third to the last, you can do this by simply coming here. You know that to get the length of a list, we make use of the name of the list dot length, right? So we can come here and say this, and then we can say rollable list dot length. So what we are doing right now is that we are saying rollable list dot, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dot 11. And then to access let's say the second to the last, because the index starts from 0, 1, 2. So this is going to be like this is going to be -2. So we can say -2. And if we run this now, you can see we have access to 8, the second to the last. And let's say the third to the last, we can have this. So you can see we have it again. Let's say fourth. And so you can see we have access to 7. So these are some of the things you can do with your list. Let's talk about final and constant also in list. So we can add final and constant also to list to make it immutable, meaning that we can't change the value. So to do that, we can come here and we can say final. And then when we add final to this, if I come here now and say I want to change my global list to something else, you can see I'm already getting an error. But over on it, you can see we have final variable global list can only be set once, so you can't change what we have here. But I can come here and I can add a new value to it. I can say I want to add 7 to it. And if I run this now, you can see that my last, okay, so let's remove this. And let's run this again. So you can see that 7 has been added to my list of numbers. So even though we added final to this, we can still add value to our list. But the only thing is that we can come down then and modify our list again. And for constant, if we run this now, you can see we're having error. So that's the difference between final and constant in list. We can't add a new value when we make use of constant. So constant makes the list and its content completely immutable, unlike final that we can add a value to it. So before I end this tutorial, let me show you some other things you can do, some other cool things you can do with your list. Let me change this from const to variable, and then let's come down here. So when you press dot on your keyboard, you have access to tons of methods you can perform on your list. So you can check if the list is empty, which will return true or false. If it is not empty, the last I've shown us this. You can add, I've shown us this. Then if you want to add a list to another list, you can make use of add all. You can make use of any which checks if a particular item on your list meets a particular criteria. As map, you can cast, you can clear, you can make use of content. So if you add dot content, you are checking if it has a particular item. So you can print this out. So you can print. Yeah. And let's run this. You can see we have true because we have 5 in our list. And that's it for today's tutorial. In today's tutorial, we talk about list as an ordered collection. We also talk about the different type of list that we have, which is the growable list and the fixed length list. Talk about some modification we can do with our list, how we can add item and also remove. Talk about making use of final and constant, and how you can explicitly tell your list that we should take only this data type and not the other data type. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next video. See you for more Dart content, for more Dart and Flutter content. See you in the next video. Thank you.